Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, whatever time it happens to be when you tuned in to watch this rubbish. And look, this has been on for 1 hour. I set it going at 9:20 hours. It was 14 degrees. It's now 10:21. I've already managed to squeeze in a Zoom meeting. How about that? And this is nearly, well, it's just topped 59. So that's not too bad going. I think we'll be up to temp probably in about another half hour, because the way it works is it's kind of more, it's an exponential thing. It's easier to hot up hot water than, yeah, anyway. Although hot water cools quicker than cold water. That sounds strange, but it's true. But anyway, my replacement HLT element is working a treat. I don't know why I just did that. I knew I'd put a lid on, but I went to show you the element all the same. Going to be a long day, this. I'm going to dismantle a lot of the hard plumbing for the time being, because I'm going to need some of these long full-size triclover fittings for these to be welded in, so that, well, it's not absolutely essential. I could use the shorter ones. We'll revisit this when I talk to Chris. Chris has offered to do the welding bits up, because he taught himself to weld. No, really did. My idea is to have a little bit protruding inside, so I can then screw attachments to it. Using a shorter one, I don't know whether the welding would deform this enough. Whereas if we weld it here, it shouldn't deform here. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know if anything makes sense anymore. Do penguins have knees? Day 3 of the Harrisons Brewery Advent calendar. I'm still really made up having an Advent calendar. Never had one. I've bought them for other people, and I've variously, it's not happening, is it? I've variously oh, hang on, look. No, that's not going to work. Sorry, hang on. Oh, bit of fisting. I'm wondering whether, you see, I could either stretch the hole. Don't do it. I'm wondering. No, you see, I'm not going to get. Sorry, I'm not filming this very well, am I? I do apologise. Perhaps I don't like doing this because it's going to ruin the box. But fuck it, it's only a box, isn't it? What is going to be day 3 of bloody hell? Best bitter. Oh dear, what have I done? Sorry, Chris. Chris and Gemma and whatever went to a lot of work putting all these together, and look what I've just done. Now this is good. I'll tell you for why this is good. Because I haven't tried this. Can you believe it? I think it's their best seller, and I've never tried it. So that's good for the third window this morning. So I'll pop that in there, and that'll be nice and cool for this evening. I think that's just really going to be my strategy from now on, you know. Just make a complete mess of it. But what I might do is, just to keep it looking fairly nice, is I might put the things back with a bit of tape. I know it's a bit wasteful on tape, but I've never had an advent calendar of my own. We had them when we were kids, we had them, but it was always my sister that got to open them every day. Well, that's just That's just fantastic, isn't it? Hang on. How easy was that now? If I had littler hands... Oh, I've nearly damaged 24. If I had littler hands, I'd have been alright. Maybe. Maybe not, actually. Right. Harrison's bitter tonight. Here's my dilemma about whether to put one of those heating elements in the bottom of the keg. If you actually look at a cross section of the keg, it has a sloped bottom and then it's got that flat bit. Now the heating element, put your finger on there, goes onto this centre boss, and then you have the whatever it's going through, and then it pokes through the bottom, and then there's the screw thread. So the question is, that's an awful drawing. The question is, and I apologise, the filming of this is abysmal, but as that then sits through here with the nut and the screw thread here, will the element itself fit with this angle? And I don't think it will. I've made a right balls up of this, haven't I? I think it will end up touching the base, which is not a good thing. What dreadful, dreadful diagram. You should be ashamed of yourself. Looks like a 5-year-old. Anyway, so that's my query. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of just a piece of wood, okay, and then I'm going to cut a hole in. I'm going to install one of the elements and then measure. Oh, fucking focus, you bastard. Measure the distance between there. And that should then give me an idea, if I know what the depth of that is. I can measure that. That'll be all right, because on the inside, when I cut the top off, I can measure from here to here. So we'll see. Does any of that make any sense? It's now 11:40 and I'm not actually too sure what time we hit the temps, because I got locked into one of these really difficult Zoom meetings. So good, we're good anyway, because that's pretty much the heat that we're going to need to get up to. So even leaving the thermal cutout in that element probably won't make a sod's worth of difference. So we're happy with those, aren't we? Good, yes we are, boys and girls. If I get a chance today, I'm going to chop the top off one of these, probably the HLT. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop the top off the HLT bigger than the hole I'm going to make in the kettle or the copper. That way I'll have a lid that should fit pretty perfectly with a little bit of overlap. Then maybe put a hinge, weld a hinge on and have a lift up, and then have a chimney attached to there. That's the thought anyway. Now when I chop the tops off the little ones, someone asked me, how did you manage to get it so perfectly rounded? And it's because I made some jigs. That was the old earlier jig what I did make, and this is the newer jig what I did make, and simply that fits over there. You put the nose of the plasma cutter, if you look, that's actually angled. I don't know if you can see how well that is angled, and yeah, of course it gets hot. And then this bit was just glued on. so as to give me the right distance. So I might use this on the hot liquor tank, and then I'll use this on the copper, and then use a slightly bigger one on the hot liquor tank. Yeah, that's what I'll do, I think. Yes. Just before I managed to burn out the heating element in the HLT, I had a starter going, so obviously then that starter was ready, but I had to bung it in the fridge. That was a week and whatever ago. So I've now drained off the liquor from the top and put the quite substantial amount of yeast back into another starter. So this is 1.5 litres, just to get it going again, just to give it a little bit more oomph. I haven't put any yeast newts in this, so this is just a wort. So 150 grams of dried malt extract and 1.5 litres of boiled water, all boiled up, boiled with the bean or flea, depending on where you learnt what to call it. And that will be for the Mandarina lager that I will be brewing probably Saturday. I'm going to give this a day and a half, maybe 2 days. So today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, yeah, a couple of days should do it. Just give it a chance to revitalise itself. Oh well, folks, I'm really not sure that I'm going to get to cut the top off those 100 litre kegs today. I have, you coming, darling? Come on. I have managed to got locked into a couple of these really strange spin-off Zooniverses today, which is pretty much mainly about the rest of the health service, which has got nothing to do with coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19 as most of us know it. And there are some rather alarming statistics and realizations. The most frightening one is to do with those who are now presenting with stage 4 cancers, which, had they been initially diagnosed at a very early stage back in March and April, would quite likely be over and done with by now. But because they weren't, they're now what's known as stage 4, which is inoperable, untreatable, and where we normally just kind of look at palliative care, making the remaining time more supposedly comfortable. And it's a pattern across the country which is really, it's quite upsetting. It's quite, knowing that it was avoidable, almost completely avoidable. So I don't know where that where that goes now. Add to that, one of my family members, younger family members, has just found out that one of their friends in their early 20s has died of cancer. And it's a horrible realisation that, and I know I posted about this on one of the social media forums month and a half, 2 months ago, that we had a patient, had our first patient present. I think we've now got about 10 locally. I haven't actually checked because I've been working kind of more directly with people rather than the actual hospital recently, because they don't want me to potentially catch COVID because of my immune status, even though my immune status is probably better than quite a few people, especially as I didn't have the chemo earlier this year and then found out that it wouldn't have been necessary anyway, so I'm probably a lot better off than most people. But so I haven't really been very active within the hospital unit, but I'm seeing what's kind of like overflowing now, and it's horrible. Anyway, so that's what I've been kind of like locked in with this afternoon, talking about a lot of the presentations, not just for cancer, a lot of various different issues that really needed dealing with sooner. Diabetes is another massive, we've seen huge new presentations of both types. And then of course the old nugget, sexual health. So wow, what an afternoon. And then my escape, obviously, has been walking the hound, and we've currently done 3.5 kilometres. Isn't that been good? But now I've got to go back, and I said that I'd write a brief something for someone. So I'm going to go back and do that, and then if I get time, I'll top those kegs. I've got to make some more jigs, as I said earlier, for the plasma cutter. But wow, talk about an unexpected Thursday. I'm actually shattered, not physically through anything, but just I think emotionally more than anything else. Right, let's walk you a bit more, shall we, hound? You gonna bring your ball? Marley, bring it. Good boy. That's it. Back in a bit when we decide what we're gonna... You don't want to bring it, do you? When we decide what we're gonna do. Oh, well, I got back from walking Marley to find a couple of other messages from people freaking out because our trust and Leeds Teaching Hospital Trust are both now the lead in terms of rolling out the vaccines. I say vaccines, at the moment there's only one that's been approved, but it looks like all the others will be next week. And so everyone's now panicking about how this is actually going to be managed, because nobody can really find their arse with both hands. Apparently, I didn't say that. So I haven't had a chance to do anything with as little, I say little, 100-litre kegs. But I'm going to use the existing jig on on the copper, and then I'm going to make a bigger one for the HLT. I think I mentioned that earlier. So, oh gosh, happy to have my HLT, my little HLT, back in working order. That's made me feel a lot better. Charlotte said the other day, "Oh, you haven't been very happy since it went." I said, "No, I haven't." And I was like, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so I've got a lager because that was next on my list to do. Then I'm going to do another Flower Child from Will Mayer's Cambridge Brewing Company, and then I'm going to start. And the run up to Christmas, I'm going to try and get a couple of naturally, spontaneously fermented lambics in our cool ship. And I'm not sure if it'll be that one. It might be the little cool ship here that we use. However, that's for another video, because this is running the risk of going on a bit. I've got the plasma cutter out ready for tomorrow. I've got the air hose out. I need to put just the air dryer thing on it, because plasma cutters don't like any damp air going through. So tomorrow, first thing, I've not got too much on. I think tomorrow I will be starting to chop the top off, but first of all, before anything else, day 3 of the Adventi Calendaries. It is Harrison's Best Bitter, English bitter. It's only 4%. Let's have a little look at. And I managed to get it out of the box without killing the can. Sorry about that, Chris. Now then, gently does it. I should go and see if I can find the flakes. Now I'm putting this in a traditional kind of like straight pint glass rather than any of my sort of Ponzi flash glasses, because this is a English bitter, best bitter, English bitter. And after all of the sort of like, this is my on there, that's my tap list, and I thought it'd actually be quite nice to have something a little bit more traditional, back to basics, back to the original kind of beers. So I haven't tried Chris's Best Bitter. While I was there, it was like porters and vacant and proof of concept, but this is their sort of like standard fare Best Bitter. So shut the fuck up and have a taste. Back. It's bloody lovely. Another winner, Mr. Harrison Hawks. I'll tell you what this reminds me of, which won't mean anything to anybody really, but it's a little brewery near where I grew up in Lewis in East Sussex, and the brewery, it's an old one, it's very, it's about 12,000 years old. It's called Harvey's, and this reminds me very much of Harvey's bitter. Oh yes, very palatable, and a really nice change from the all the exotic stuff. So yeah, it's a winner. I'm now so shattered that I think I'm going to have a shower, knock this video together, bang it up. As I'm trying, I don't know, I mean, I must apologise. I'm going to try and do one every day for December just to break the monotony. And I still know loads of people who are kind of like stuck at home, either furloughed or shielding or whatever. So I'll try tomorrow and make something more interesting for you, I promise. For today, boys and girls, shattered am I, and looking forward to slamming a few more beers down when that Best Bitter is drunked. If you like this rubbish, please feel free to subscribe, tell your friends, ask your dog to subscribe and send me cake. I don't know where that last bit come from. Okay.